show. Here we go with Annie Talks. Annie Talks. Annie Talks. Welcome to the show. Here's the host. It's Annie Talks.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Annie Talks, where we bring to you interesting stories about interesting people that you want to know about. I'm your host, Annie Rivera. Thank you for tuning in, and to those who have already subscribed. If you're new to the podcast, welcome, and I hope you enjoy what you hear. And if so, I personally invite you to subscribe. Annie Talks is brought to you by Luxwear Trends, affordable, luxurious timepieces for every occasion, luxury that lasts forever, and that's what sets us apart from others. Find us on Facebook and Instagram or visit luxweartrends.com. That's Luxe weartrends.com. My guests on episode 25 are a dynamic duo who is hitting the advertising scene in full force. I'm talking with the CEO and mastermind of executive advertising, Carlos Ojeda, who began in the financial industry for nearly a decade, got his big break working on a video project for a friend. We'll hear from Carlos about that big aha moment that helped to embark on this newfound entrepreneur journey to creating what is promising to be a successful and lucrative business. Then we'll talk with the creative director, Luis Benitez, who after graduating high school went to one semester of college not knowing at the time what he wanted to do, while working various 9-to-5 jobs for the following 5 years. We'll hear from Luis on how he got started with Carlos and executive advertising. I'm super excited to bring to you now my conversation with executive advertising. Today, I have the wonderful pleasure of speaking with Carlos Ojeda, who is the CEO, and the creative director, Luis Benitez, at Executive Advertising. I'm excited to talk to them because they have new and exciting, innovative technology that you all will want to jump on. So we'll get into that in just a little bit. So without further ado, let's get started and talk with Executive Advertising. So first of all, why don't you give us a sense of the business and how it got started?
I'll jump in now because I actually started the business back in August. I was working for a bank. I can't say the name of the bank, but I was working in the financial industry for probably about 9.5 years. And I've always had an interest in photography and in film. And I had an opportunity. Someone gave me an opportunity to try to film something for them and see if it worked. And the moment I got the camera in my hands and I started learning editing, it just kind of took over from there. And you know, I was like, why can't I do this as a living?
And just so you guys know, because of the type of work that they do, they're typically on the other side of the camera. So being on the front side of the camera is a little different. So we're going to go with the flow.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about what kind of work that you do and what it's like to be kind of like your own entrepreneurship.
Yeah, being your own entrepreneur is actually really, really fun. So pretty much what we do in our line of work is we do a lot of commercials for local companies. We do anywhere from photography, graphic design, and also we're getting into VR pretty soon, hopefully, but because that's pretty much the 2018 way. Everyone's getting into more advanced production. So yeah, so right now that's exactly what we do, and we work with our local companies. Yeah.
So speaking about how you got started, Carlos, tell us, what was the final straw? What was the one aha moment that said, nope, I'm going to do this?
Well, with that, to be honest with you, what happened was it was one of my daughter's last performances because she was in orchestra and she was in she does plays and stuff like that. And it was her last senior performance, and I asked my company if I can leave maybe 30 minutes early so I can try to make the performance, and they're like, sorry, you can't leave. And you know, I was like, and I tried to explain to them, that's your last performance, I'm only asking to leave 30 minutes early, is that okay? And they're like, sorry, well, we can. And they made all these excuses. And at that moment, I told myself, I want to be an entrepreneur because I want to be able to be there for my kids. I don't want to have to ask permission from anybody to go do stuff for my family. And at that point, I was like, you know what? Like, I have to make a leap, and I have to do it because the outcome is going to be way better. And I'm not, like I said, I just don't like asking permission to do stuff for my family.
Right. So you want to be in charge of your own destiny, your own hours, and just kind of decide for yourself like what I want to do during the course of a day.
Exactly.
Basically.
Yes.
Yeah. So now tell us a little bit about some of the obstacles. What challenges do you face like on the course of a day?
Well, we always have obstacles. We're always sometimes getting properties and stuff that are really far. Like we had a situation yesterday, and Luis is good at telling it. Luis could tell you a little bit about what happened.
Yeah. So yesterday we had to film a property out in Lancaster, and we're pretty much in the Brea area, but yeah, we were on the way over there. And we were really excited to go shoot the property, and then we were getting really close to the location, but we had to go through like these mountains. And then right before we hit the mountains, Carlos was like, "Yo, Luis, should we get gas right now? Because I'm like really low on gas." And honestly, I was like, "Yeah, I mean, like if you want to." And then I guess he thought it was a good idea, so we were going through these mountains. 20 minutes later, we were pretty much out of gas. And it was a struggle because our phones were also out of lost in GPS, so we couldn't really locate ourselves. So luckily we had just enough gas to get out of the whole mountain area, and we got gas. And
I think that was like
a few minutes late.
Yeah, I think that was like the most stressed I've ever been. I was like, turn off the radio, turn off everything, and I'm going downhill, and I'm putting my car in neutral, and I'm like, please, like. Like there's no one driving by. I'm like, man, we're gonna be stuck out here, like no gas, all this equipment. I'm like, no. It was definitely
stressful.
Stressful, but yet comedic kind of thing that happens on not say a daily basis, but it happens a lot. Right. Where we're trying to schedule it, we're trying to fit in, a lot of stuff into one day and trying to keep on time with everything.
Yeah.
So tell us some of the overarching obstacles. What are those kinds of things? What do those look like? And how do you face them? How do you remedy them? How do you come up with solutions?
Well, with that, I would say the bigger obstacles is always trying to get new business. Trying to promote yourself out there, trying to get yourself out there. And what I found out was, especially becoming an entrepreneur, is that, there's other businesses that kind of do the same line of work. But what you really got to do is basically just sell yourself. And it took me a little bit of time to figure that out, that when you're selling yourself, people want to do business with you.
Right.
And when I stopped trying to be like this professional persona, and I was like, screw it, I'm going to be myself.
Right.
And I'm going to go out there and, hey guys, I do video and just be the way that I am with everybody. I noticed that people were really more receptive to that.
Yeah.
And we started getting a lot more referrals, and then it just started trickling down. And I think that was the biggest obstacle that we had, was just trying to figure that part of the business out.
Kind of trying to find your voice and trying to find your space and the persona that you wanted.
Yeah. Exactly. And you know what? It works out perfect because Carlos has a great personality. So everywhere we go, he's always shaking hands, and it's for sure generating a lot of money. So for sure, you got to get one, Carlos.
Well, you're not shy of the camera here either. Yeah. They're both very personable, you guys. You're going to love them. So earlier we alluded to that the two of them went to NAB, which is the National Association of Broadcasters, the NAB show in Las Vegas. And this was your first year, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So tell us about that. Was it everything that you expected it to be? Did it live up to all your expectations? Did you get to see everything you wanted to see?
It went above the expectations. Me and Carlos, we were already really excited to go to the show just because we were gonna meet some of our people that we look up to, like vloggers or company brands. So I don't know. We showed up to the convention, and it was just packed of gear, really good energy in the whole environment. Seeing cameras, and we're not talking about small cameras, we're talking about bigger cameras. So there was cameras, set design, a bunch of like VR stuff. It was just, honestly, it was like a really like a happy place, and I got to meet a bunch of like different brands that I've always looked up to. So that was a big point for me, is actually meeting the people that make the whole cameras and lenses, and I just got inspired. It was honestly like one of the best trips I had. Really fun convention.
Yeah, it was memorable to say the least. I mean, our plan was to get in there that first day, and we're gonna walk around and see where everything's at, and we're gonna figure out like what we're gonna come back to later. And we ended up getting stuck right at the entrance for the first hour, maybe hour and 15 minutes. And I'm like, man, we've been here an hour. We got to go see the rest of the stuff. It was just that interesting. The one thing I wish I could have seen, I was really looking for Peter McKinnon, because I know he was there. And I did not get to run into him. We were complete opposite sides of when he was there.
You
and I kept on
followed him on your social media. You could have found out where he was.
I did, but he wasn't posting where he was at.
Bummer.
And then I just kept on walking around all of NAB going, Peter! See if a guy turns around, I can be like, hey, that's him.
And I'll be like, hey, there's Peter. And then Carlos will be like, what?
Or like from Princess Diaries, where they go, not you, I don't even know you.
I know. So, I mean, it was just awesome. I mean, just like, you know, and I watch other vlogs and stuff, and they talk about, you know, besides the camera stuff, just the connections that you make with people, and the people that are in the same industry, you know, other creators, and you just get to see, like, it's a really tight-knit community, and that's one thing I really love about this. I'm glad I chose this field to be an entrepreneur, because it's such a tight-knit community, and everyone's always really, really, really supportive, and I just love that.
So what was your takeaway? I mean, when you left, obviously you were inspired. It kind of lit a fire in you. And so, I mean, what was your takeaway, and what do you think how is that motivating you to, you know, go forward?
Well, one thing, the takeaway I would say is just the gear. Like, and I know it's not about the gear, but man, the gear's so nice. But it is the gear. But the gear is so nice. Yeah. Like, you know, looking at the Aries with the cinema cookie lenses. He introduced me to cookie lenses. And
cookie lens? What's that?
It's this company that's pretty much, they dedicate themselves to make really nice cinema glass. Oh. So they've been around for several of years, but pretty much what I got from NAB was the community base. It was seeing a bunch of people really with like smiling faces, and I've never really experienced that. I've never really been into like a camera show, and being at the like #1 convention, I think is really cool. So we also really we made really nice connections out there too that we're gonna be meeting in the location. So I think community was what I finally saw and I understood, and I'm really glad that there's a lot of creators out there that are pretty much doing like along like the same line of work.
Going again next year?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
It's on their checklist every year, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was the best experience. Awesome. And plus, you're in Las Vegas. I mean, come on.
Yeah. What stays in Vegas? Or what happens in Vegas? No, just kidding. So now, let's touch on some of your professional accomplishments. What would you say are some of your professional, memorable accomplishments or achievements so far?
For me, it's going to be actually just going forward and starting the company. Like, I started this company from scratch. I came up with the logo design, the name, going out and starting from nothing. Mm-hmm. So to be able to have everything that I have right now, which is still, I'm never satisfied. But I think it's a big accomplishment to get from starting officially like last August to now, the customer base that I've built up, the reputation that I've built, right. the you know, the people that I have around with me, like Luis. Like, it's just, that to me is the biggest accomplishment, because at that moment I realized when you give it 100%, like, you see it come back 200%. Yeah. So it's just, for me, it's just, that's my biggest accomplishment, is just getting to this point and knowing where I'm going to be in the next couple of years.
Luis, what's your most memorable achievement or professional achievement so far?
So I'd say one of my biggest accomplishments, business-wise, was actually understanding what I wanted to do with video and photo. Now, what that means is pretty much what I did before. I would like work with separate companies, like I would serve food, or I'll sell camera equipment. I didn't like really know what I was like wanting to do. But you know, my accomplishment would be that like I finally found exactly what I wanted to do, and I'm really strong in that idea. So that's what I'm like really excited to build that idea and get going.
So it unleashed the creative side in you, and this is like a passion project now for you. Not only a business, but a passion for you.
Passion project and mainly business. Just because like I've been studying like video before, so I do understand the language of that. It's just that like I'm really happy that I took that leap where now I no longer work like in a secure job. Now I get to pretty much make some money out of what I love to do is filmmaking and photography and all that stuff.
Right, and helping to grow the business.
Yeah.
Awesome. For either one of you, or both, where do you see yourself now from 3 to 5 years from now?
Well, the plan for the company is, right now we have a really tiny office, is to basically have our own building where we have editors and we have more photographers and more videographers, and we're working on bigger projects and just basically expanding out. The main thing is to not say no to any avenue. I don't want to restrict myself only to film or only to businesses or only to this. The thing is, when there's an opportunity, I'm always going to say yes, because I still don't know where the business is going to turn. When I started this business, I thought it was going to go one way, and then something came along and took me this way, and then it took me this way. So my main thing with my business is always never to say no and always say yes to every opportunity, because you never know what that opportunity is going to turn into. So it's to just grow and hire more people and do more projects, and you know, eventually start working with more nonprofits and you know, do stuff for just basically for everyone.
So help you to grow your business, to grow your opportunities, and to have more collaborations.
Collaborations, yeah, definitely. Awesome. Like one thing, there's a photographer named Josh Rossi that I follow, and he does a lot of stuff for the Children's Hospital, where he'll go and he'll take photography of them, and they're, you know, these kids have like cancer, they're going through really bad stuff, so he'll go and he'll dress them up in superhero costumes, and he does this whole like movie poster thing for them, and he does it for free.
I've seen that.
I did see that.
And he did one with Wonder Woman, and I was like, man, that's cool. I'd love to be able to have the knowledge to be able to do something like that. Right. So, you know, that's one thing I look for in the future, when I have more knowledge and I have more power and I can do this, to be able to volunteer some of my time and do some cool stuff like that. I mean, to me, that's more impactful than anything, you know, especially when you show the videos and you see these kids' faces and they can't believe that they're a superhero, you know?
Right.
That's super inspiring to me. So
community outreach, more giving back, right?
Exactly.
Into the community, and kind of empowering others to be, you know, just as creative and as forward thinking as yourself.
Yes.
Awesome. So where do you see yourself in 3 to 5 years from now? With the company expanding and being VP? Just kidding.
Yeah. No, yeah. So in 3 years, I feel like executive advertising is going to be bigger than what it is now. So pretty much, I just barely met Carlos like not so long ago, right? And he had this drive that I saw in him, where he's really focused with clients, and you know, I wanted to work with them. So right now we've been having a lot of projects, and we're slowly building, but I do see our team being stronger and having a better environment. But right now, I think we're doing good.
You have to understand something about this guy. He went to vacation on two major things for me. He went to vacation to Mexico. While he was on vacation, and this is when we first barely like started talking, he was like, "Hey man, I just want to know how business is going." And that, to me as an entrepreneur, like, that was huge, because I'm like, this guy's on vacation. We barely met, and he's calling to see like how business is going. Right. I'm like, that's awesome. Yeah, I was like super stoked about that. I was like, yeah,
this guy's serious.
All right. And then the major thing is that he quit his job to come over here.
Hey,
I quit my job.
He did. And
so
that
you
was
have 100% focus from both of them, from the executive advertising, because they want to make your business, your product good and you know, excel. So Why not, you guys?
And I just love that because, like, I follow someone called Casey Neistat, which I know you know who he is, and I follow that guy religiously in his beliefs. And you know, one of the things he's always said is, if you want to be a filmmaker, pick up a camera, go all in. And that moment, I noticed that's when Luis was like, "Dude, I'm all in," and I was like, "All right, I'm all in too. Let's go." Awesome. So that was a huge moment for me that he did.
That he's in.
Yeah.
He's a keeper.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love this question because I think that it just kind of opens up, like, you know, where you've been and where you see yourself going. What would you guys tell your 18-year-old self? What do you know now that you could share with your 18-year-old self?
I would say, I'm going to look at the camera like if I'm talking to myself. I would say, let go. Give anything that you do 150%. Don't stay hungry. Never settle. And just keep moving forward. And no matter what anybody says, no matter what anybody thinks, no matter what anything, you keep moving forward. And anybody that's not on that path, get rid of them.
Ooh.
Savage.
That's just the way
gotta be. You just gotta do it. Yeah.
That's right. And then Luis, what would you? How old are you?
I just turned 23.
Okay.
I just turned 23. Yeah.
Ooh, so then he can tell his 18-year-old self.
A couple years back. Okay. What I'll tell myself, pretty much told myself to not let anyone else's opinion really affect your whole project that you pretty much wanna create. Also, to think backwards. If you wanna build something, to make sure you understand the bigger picture, and you do work reverse. So it's just, you just have to understand, right? So don't get so caught up on people that are looking down on you, because you know what, everyone, that's everyone's problem. There's a group of people that really, they tell them, hey, you know what, like, what are you doing? Or go get a job because it's secure. You know what, don't follow those rules. Follow exactly what you really want to do, and just be true to yourself. And that's when things are starting to unfolding, and then you're gonna understand yourself. Yeah. So bye, haters.
Right, exactly. I follow a couple podcasts. I'm a podcaster, but I follow a couple podcasters and a lot of YouTubers as well, and they all have the same thing. Basically, you know, the ones that are, and cancer's a harsh word, but those that are kind of negative, and the ones that are just pulling you down, and you know, the traditionalist, right? Who want you to go a certain direction.
Yes. And
you, the entrepreneur, you have a vision, you have something in mind, you have a path that you want to set before you. I heard them say, now's the time to cut them loose. Not so much because you want to cut them out of your life because, you know, family and friends, but just they're not one to contribute to your vision. They need to step aside, right?
Definitely. And I mean, it might sound a little harsh, but family or friends, whoever's not in my path,
yeah,
I have no time for you.
For sure. No, yeah, because it does affect, you know, it's whether it's family and like friends, right? Because if you hang out with a group of people that are successful versus, you know, bad kids, you're obviously going to be doing, you know, the bad things if you go with them. But, you know, those bad people could also be like family members, and that's when things get really, really complicated. But
get hairy.
Yeah.
So you want to surround yourself, everybody, with very positive people and people who support you, right? Because without them, or you really don't have much foundation, but then you kind of build your own foundation, you yourself, and then you kind of go from there. Right?
Yeah, I get really passionate about this topic because
I know.
Like it just, like, I've never, you know, when I figured out this is what I want to do, and no matter, you know, my whole life, people have told me, oh, you can't do this, oh, you can't do this. 4 years ago, I wanted to fight MMA. I've never even fought in a street fight. And I told my family, and I was like, I want to fight in the cage. And they're like, oh, you're too old, you're out of shape, this, that. I trained for 2.5 years, and I did my goal. I fought in the cage. I didn't win, but I got in there and I did it. And I trained for 2.5 years nonstop, all the time, in order to reach that goal. And no one understands it, no one gets it, and it's not for anyone. It's basically for myself to say, hey, you want something bad enough, you're going to sacrifice everything to get it done. And the one thing I notice is that the people that are going to tell you that you can't do it are the ones that are scared to even try. So if you listen to those people that are too scared to try, you're never going to try anything yourself. So you ignore that and you keep on going, because they can't do it. They want to keep you here because they don't want you to go above their level. But the moment you realize that their level is stuck right here and your level is up here, well, guess what? You're bye.
You're just like them. You turn just like them, and it's like you never really take that leap of like, I'm just gonna keep working the same job for X amount of years. When in reality, your talent that you have is really, really good. You just have to put yourself out there. Don't really focus on other people's thoughts of you, because there's a whole world that's surrounding you. You have a big audience, so there's gonna be someone that you're gonna attract.
Remember Michael Jordan's story. He didn't make the varsity team. They filmed that you're a horrible player, and look who you turned out to be, because he kept on practicing every day and he didn't let people telling him that he can't be something. He turned out to be one of the greatest players ever.
That's awesome. So what do you guys like to do? This is a passion project, and when I say that, it's both work and it's both leisure. So what do you guys like to do for leisure? And then, like, how do you keep your work-life balance?
Well, my leisure time, to be honest, it's just whenever I get the chance. It's just, if I have free time, it's with my family. I go and I try to spend time with my family, with my kids, my wife. We try to go date nights. We try to go here. I got to give a shout out to my wife, because she's been the biggest supporter of me taking this path. And, without her, I couldn't have done it. And so whenever I get free time, I always try to make sure that free time I have is spent on my family.
Awesome. Luis?
Sure, my free time. I also like to hang out with my family, because that's really important to me, is my family first. But what I do, I just see, the thing is, I come home really late. So it's like around 9 o'clock. Usually everyone's sleeping, but whenever I do have the time to hang out with them, I do sit down, we have dinner, and I'm on my computer. Literally, that's what I do.
Every time I call him, he's like, I'm editing video. Yeah. I'm in my room.
I gotta put in my practice, but when I'm not doing that, I'm with my family. Hi, Mom.
Oh, how cute was that? Hi, Mom. So how do you network? I know we talked a little bit about word of mouth for the most part, right? So how else do you network and get your clients?
We go out to networking events. Mm-hmm. Biggest thing I was ever taught: always carry your business cards on you. Right. Always, because you never know when you're going to run into an opportunity and you need your business card.
Right.
And the main thing is just talk to everybody.
Yeah.
That's how when I go out places, I'm just talking to everyone. I mean, luckily, and I'm going to knock on wood, my business so far, I haven't really had to try as hard to go and get business, because one thing that my friend always told me, hey, Janet, you're the one that told me this, is that when you're doing good, you don't have to sell yourself, because people are selling for you. And we've been fortunate enough where people have been selling for us, and I'm sitting here editing a video, and all of a sudden I'm getting calls for work and booking myself out for the next 1 or 2 months. So, but that doesn't mean that I'm settling there, and I'm okay with that. I'm still going to networking events. As today, we're going to Newport Beach to a grand opening of a new real estate office. So we're going to go networking over there. Okay. So, we just continue pushing and talking to everyone and promoting yourself as big as you possibly can, and never settle for enough.
Yeah. Right now, networking is one of our priorities for us. Even though we do advertise in social media, but a really cool thing is if you have people on word of mouth that are going around and telling, hey, you know what, we have executive advertising that does good work, check them out. So that's actually been happening frequently now. So I'm really blessed that we do have that.
It's networking. It's getting out there.
It's called networking. Start networking.
And they're out there, you guys. So, invite them to your networking event.
Yeah, if you see us on the street, say hi.
Okay, so then now, last but not least, what are some of your parting words for people aspiring to be like you? you know that there are people who are looking up to you now and want to be, I want to be like Carlos, I want to be like Luis. What would you tell them?
Basically, like the same thing I've been saying before, is if you want to do it, go do it. Don't wait for anybody to tell you. Just go out there and give it 110%, and you'll be astounded with the results that you're going to get back. When you actually mentally tell yourself, I'm going to give something over 100% and I'm going to give it my everything, you'll be amazed on the results that comes back. Because most of the time, people say, oh yeah, I want to do this, and they'll go and they'll give it 60%, and the moment it gets rough, they're like, I don't want to do this anymore. But the moment you say, I'm going to give it 110%, and I'm going to go out there and nothing's going to stop me, no one's going to tell me anything, and I'm just going to go, that's when you'll notice that all that hard work triples back. And that's when you realize, okay, I can actually do this.
Awesome. All the hard work pays off.
It really does.
Mm-hmm. Louis?
Definitely find out what you want to do, and see how that's going to be bringing you, whether it's income or followers or whatever. I would also say to be different. Don't really follow the crowd, because that's why everyone's so the same. Try to be a little bit more different, and just don't be scared to publish your work too. There's a lot of people love creating, and even I have friends where they don't want to post it because they think it's not perfect, right? So it's going to take time, right? It's not going to be perfect the first time. There's going to be learning curves throughout the whole process. So the best thing is to learn whether it's a mistake. If it's a mistake, good, because now you know what to do next. I would also say that you're going to die, so do it. Seriously, you're going to die. So if you don't do it, you're going to regret it.
Oh,
right?
There you go. The underlying,
Sorry, I was
like, what? You're going to die?
The underlying message is, don't get in a position where you're saying, I wish I could have. What is it?
I wish I could have. Would have.
I would. Yeah.
Would have. Could have. Should have.
Would
Would
have.
have.
Could have.
Something like that.
Yeah.
What is that saying? What is that saying?
Yeah. Would have. Could have. Should have.
There you go. You never want to be in that position where you say would have. Could have. Should have. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just go do. Oh, I like that.
And remember, again, I'm going to refer back to Casey, because I said I follow that guy religiously. He always said, don't worry about the content and the work, because I remember this specifically. He said, you're going to go shoot a movie and it's going to suck, but then you're going to shoot another one and it's going to be a little bit better, and then you're going to shoot another one and it's going to be better than the last two, and then you're going to shoot another one, and gradually it's going to get better. Don't be so focused on having to come out perfect. Just focus on working and getting better and getting better and getting better.
Yeah.
Just like they do.
Agreed.
Now, how can we follow you? What social media channels can we follow you on?
Biggest one is Instagram. It's executive.advertising. We're also on Facebook. We're in the works of starting our YouTube channel and Patreon. If you do not know about Patreon, it is going to be huge. So start a Patreon page. We're going to start putting up our blogs of all our crazy shenanigans that we do, like getting lost in the forest.
Yeah. and also our NAB show. I mean, not show. Our blog is going to be coming out soon. So if you guys want to check it out, that would be also in our Instagram.
Fun. Oh.
We're showing a lot of behind the scenes stuff, pictures. Sometimes we work with, I wouldn't say celebrities, but people that are really well known in their industry. So you'll be able to, see our pictures with them. We recently, there's a show called Tienes Talento, Mucho Talento. And it comes out. Spanish show. And we were doing like a documentary on one of the singers, but it was cool behind the scenes footage, because we're actually I don't know if they thought we worked there, but we were over there with our camera and stuff, and we had full access to everything, and just walking around filming everything. It was super cool.
Yeah, it was cool seeing the whole operation there.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. I love, if you guys know me, you know I just love behind the scenes stuff. I love all the vlogging that happens behind the scenes. I love all the setup and all that kind of stuff. I just do. I just love it. So you guys, I'll have all their information, all their social media information down below in the description. So don't forget to check them out. And subscribe. And if you feel that you could help contribute, look at their Patreon page as well. Thank you guys so much for being on my show. I really, truly appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, that's it, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Annie Talks and speaking with my friend Carlos Ojeda and Luis Benitez of Executive Advertising. And don't forget to check out all their information down below in the show notes. I will have all their information, social media, their YouTube channel, everything. So don't forget to also check out their Patreon page and help contribute to their to Executive Advertising. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, you can hit that or check out that information down below also in the show notes. And I will also have my Patreon page down below. And if you haven't already checked out my website, you can go to www.annietalks.com. And you can also check out my YouTube tab and my podcast tab, and it will have all the information that you guys will ever need. Thank you again all so much for tuning in, and keep listening to Annie Talks.